Let's kick it off with Beyoncé and this album that she just released called Cowboy Carter. It's her, I believe, her eighth studio album. It's the second part of a three-part series of the Renaissance. You know, Act One was Renaissance that came out 2 years ago, and now we have Act Two, which is Cowboy Carter. And when it first was announced, it was revealed that it was going to be on the country tip. And now it's out, it's here, and it's more than just a country album. There's so many historic little nuggets involved in this album, and even down to the track listing and the photo. If you've seen it, when Beyonce put up the track listing, it was a photo that looked kind of like a flyer. Even that has a nugget buried within it. It's basically taken from how they used to have the flyers back during like the Jim Crow era, where Black artists would perform in these clubs and stuff, and they called it the Chitlin Circuit. It was a collection of performance venues where it said that it was quoted as being any place white people don't go to see Black people. And there's a bunch of flyers you would find from various acts that was, you know, traveling around at that time, around the time when we had to go in through the back door of these places to perform, or some of these venues probably didn't even want us to perform at that era. Her flyer, which was the track listing, is inspired by that. So we kicking it off with the historic little nuggets. But let's talk about even the songs on the album. Like one song in particular, Blackbird, I think is like the second song on the album. And it's actually a cover of one of the Beatles songs. And Paul McCartney, when he spoke about the inspiration behind the song Blackbird, and this is likely why Beyonce chose to cover it at the time, he said, I had in mind a Black woman rather than a bird. Those were the days of the civil rights movement, which all of us care passionately about. So this was really a song from me to a Black woman experiencing these problems in the States. Like, let me encourage you to keep trying, to keep your faith. There is hope. It was also inspired by the woman of the Little Rock Nine as well. He said, I was sitting around with my acoustic guitar and I heard about the civil rights troubles that were happening in the 60s in Alabama, Mississippi, Little Rock in particular. I just thought it would be really good if I could write something that if I ever reached any of the people going through those problems, it might give them a little hope. So I wrote Blackbird. And the Little Rock Nine is the non-Black teenagers who in 1957 faced discrimination after they enrolled in a formerly all-white high school after the ruling of Brown versus Board of Education. So even the fact that Beyonce took this song and decided to cover it, and not only cover it, decided to feature 4 Black country singers on it, is epic in itself. Tanner Adele, Brittany Spencer, Tiara Kennedy, and Raina Roberts. And I wanted to talk a little about them as well, since Beyonce is trying to shine a light on them. Let us shine a light on them as well. Tanner Adele, she's from Kentucky. She moved to Nashville, Tennessee in 2021. She was raised in the church, and she actually just went viral recently. You might have seen a post about her. She has this song called Buckle Bunny that she just released that was kind of going viral recently. So fast shouts to Tanner Adele. You have Brittany Spencer. She's from Baltimore, Maryland. And she as well grew up in the church. And she moved to Nashville as well. Nashville seemed to be like the cornerstone of a lot of country singers when they're kicking off their careers. Fast shouts to Brittany Spencer. You also have Tiara Kennedy. She's from Alabama, Birmingham, Alabama. And she taught herself how to play guitar from watching YouTube videos, and then ended up taking trips to Nashville. I don't think she ever lived in Nashville, but she used to take trips to Nashville and perform at iconic venues such as Bluebird Cafe and the Listening Room. And she ended up getting her start that way. Fast shouts to Tiara Kennedy and Raina Roberts. She's from Alaska, actually, Anchorage, Alaska. And she was born there, but she was raised between Alabama and California. Fast shouts to her. Someone said Nashville is known as Music City due to the country music scene. Even a lot of R&B is recorded there. The Black Music Museum is in Nashville. That's what's up. Another person Beyoncé collaborated with is another country singer by the name of Willie Jones. He's from Louisiana, and he got his start on the show The X Factor. He as well grew up singing in the church. It's dope that Beyoncé tapped into the younger, newer generation of country singers who may not be getting the shine that she feels they deserve. She tapped into them and put them on this album. So that's huge. Rumi Carter is on the album. She felt Blue Ivy got a Grammy. I need to give me one too. So she's on this song called Protector. She also got Miley Cyrus and Post Malone on the album as well. One of the biggest collaborators that she has on this album is Linda Martell. Linda Martell was the first commercially successful Black female artist in country music. She was also the first Black female artist to play at the Grand Ole Opry. It's just a lot of like historic little nuggets that's intertwined in this album. It's 27 songs long. They're not all songs though. Some are like interludes, some are little like skits, where she has one with Willie Nelson as well, where it's like someone's turning through radio stations and each time it stopped, a different song is playing. And the songs that's playing are from historic Black country artists who we may not be familiar with, but we should be familiar with. So even with Beyonce including these records in the mix of this album, is just another part of these historic nuggets that were thrown in there. A few of the songs were Sun House, Grinning in Your Face, Sister Rosetta Tharpe, Down by the Riverside, Chuck Berry, Maybelline, Roy Hamilton, Don't Let Go. And just a little about each of these artists. Sun House shaped blues music. Sister Rosetta Tharpe inspired artists like Elvis. Chuck Berry was a Black musician who pioneered rock and roll, and he even influenced Elvis, or I should say who Elvis stole from, one of the people Elvis stole from. Roy Hamilton, according to his Wikipedia, it says Hamilton's distinctive sound was a big influence on Elvis Presley's ballad singing. So it's like, not only have these artists pioneered and influenced these genres, they are people that should be getting more credit. So it's just dope that she incorporated and chose those particular songs to be featured during that little radio station dial turn on Smoke Hour featuring Willie Nelson. But it's just when you first listen to it, you might not get into every single thing that's going on, but if you listen to it again, you could really get into some of the lyrics of the songs. And this album is definitely critically acclaimed, for sure. Beyonce said this album took over 5 years. She said it's been really great to have that time and the grace to be able to take my time with it. I was initially going to put out Cowboy Carter first, but with the pandemic, there was too much heaviness in the world. We wanted to dance. We deserved to dance, but I had to trust God's timing. She said, I think people are going to be surprised because I don't think this music is what everyone expects, but it's the best music I ever made. That's big. And the reactions from this album, it might just be the best music Beyonce has ever made. Some people are already calling it the album of the year. Like I said, we only in March, and this might be the biggest album of the year. And rightfully so. It's not just people saying it to say it. Like, it's really low key. It might be a no skip album. Like, you could literally start it from the beginning. If you're in the right setting, start it from the beginning and go through. It really takes you through a journey. Another thing worth pointing out is this album is, like I said at the beginning, way more than just a country album. Like, it's literally every genre you could think of included in this album. I'm talking about opera, rap, R&B, jazz, rock, country, and it's a well put together, thought out project. You learn a lot. There's a lot of like historic little nuggets. I keep saying that in it. And it's definitely worth the hype that people are ranting about when you look around social media. She said, my process is that I typically have to experiment. I enjoy being open to have the freedom to get all aspects of things I love out. So I worked on many songs. I recorded probably 100 songs. Once that is done, I'm able to put the puzzle together and realize the consistencies and the common themes, and then create a solid body of work. And that, I feel she did for sure. Another big collaborator she has on the album is Dolly Parton. She did a cover of Dolly Parton's Jolene, and she switched it up. Like, I wasn't too familiar with, I know the song, right, Jolene, but I wasn't familiar with the lyrics or anything like that. But after hearing Beyonce's version and going back and reading Dolly's version, she switched it up. Dolly was in essence like begging this girl to not take her man, and Beyonce is over here like, you might not wanna, because I'm not the one to play with. Like, go find somebody else to play with. And that's a funny a twist on it. Like, I ain't begging you. Like move along, move around. This ain't what you want, in a nutshell. She also revealed that the character of Cowboy Carter was inspired by the original Black cowboys of the American West. She noted that the term cowboy was used to belittle former slaves as boys. She created Cowboy Carter to negate the connotation and highlight the strength and resiliency of these men, who were the true definition of Western fortitude. Well thought out. There's a lot of even contributors to the album that we don't even know yet. I don't know if all platforms are like this, but I know I particularly use Tidal, and Tidal, the credits aren't showing. It says pending whenever you try to read credits, but I'm hearing that Stevie Wonder has contributed in some way on the album. Chuck Berry, Rhiannon Giddens, Nile Rodgers, Gary Clark Jr., Raphael Sadiq. He's one of the producers. He produced a lot of or at least had a hand in producing a lot of the records on the album. Pharrell, The Dream, Swiss Beats, and Hove, of course, Jay-Z. But yeah, have y'all heard Cowboy Carter? Are y'all feeling it? Do y'all like it? What's your favorite song from the album? I'm curious to know. I think my favorite song probably is Buckin'. There's a song called Buckin'. It's a part of like 3 songs in one. I think it's called Sweet Honey Buckin'. It's literally like 3 songs in one. But I always say this, I've always said this, I love when Beyonce talk her shh. So any chance I get for Beyonce to talk her, I'm here for it. And she was talking her on Buckin'. And she even spoke about the album of the year situation and on Buckin', and how what's the lyric? How the lyrics go? She said something like AOTY didn't win. Something, I ain't worried about them. I took it on the chin. Went back and effed up the pen. Something along those lines. But she addressed The Cowboy Carter. I mean, she addressed the album of the year snub situation. And yeah, talk your ish. I came across this post I wanted to read, and I feel like this summed it up like the most perfect way. It's Twitter username MJ Finesse Lover, and she said Beyonce is a musicologist, an intellectual and creative who makes music that is so intertwined with Black history. At this stage in her music career, where's her honorary PhD as a musicologist from a prominent music institution? She is not only a student of her craft, but a master. The listener has to be willing to digest and engage with Cowboy Carter so they don't overlook the significant amount of music education she seamlessly weaves into every track. Her mentors slash idols, Prince, Tina Turner, and Michael Jackson will be so proud of her. I was like, I gotta agree. Like, that summed it up like perfectly. If you really take the time and really digest and listen to it, it's more than just an album. There's a lot of history embedded in it as well. Someone said, not to be messy, but this is why she is better than Taylor. Can Taylor do an R&B album or dance album or hip hop album and country album? B did. That sounded like Colin. He'd be like, God did. Someone else said, I don't know what kind of deal they made, but Tony Tone, Raphael, and even Dwayne have apparently written on every Destiny's Child Beyonce album. Wow, I didn't know that. I knew that Raphael has worked on Renaissance, the Act 1, and I knew he worked on Act 2, but to know that he worked on or written on every single Destiny's Child Beyonce album, that's big. That's what's up. That's interesting. But we're going to get ready to move on to what else is hot in these blogs. Diddy was another big story in the blogs this week because his homes were raided. A home in Cali and a home in Miami, I believe, were raided by the feds. And we don't know why exactly, but we know that it was a part of an ongoing investigation as it ties to like a trafficking situation. Apparently, there's some allegations that were brought up by this producer Lil Rye, and I don't know if his lawsuit is the reason why the feds pulled up or if it's something much bigger. But apparently, they were there because they were investigating this SCX trafficking situation, and they raided the homes. They put all of the people that were there in handcuffs while they searched, and Diddy wasn't there at the time. There was reports initially that he fled the country, that his jet was on some island somewhere. And that was kind of like the narrative that was playing out on social media before we learned anything. And that was flying around. And then it turns out that Diddy was actually in Miami at the time. We seen photos or videos of him around this airport where his jet was, and people were questioned. I think one person was arrested out of this whole situation. It wasn't Diddy. There was even pictures out of it was AI generated pictures of fake Diddy that was arrested, and there was a mugshot even, and so many people were sharing it, and it's like they was like Diddy was arrested, and it's like, damn, just like a quick Google search, you would determine that that's not true. But that's the world we live in today with the internet, and the lies travel faster than the truth. But what I found interesting regarding this is the amount of people who were confused as to why the feds was raiding Diddy's place, the fact that Diddy wasn't arrested or whatever. They had this idea in mind that the feds were in there, that they were looking for Diddy. And I don't know, I guess I forget the fact that a lot of the people in the comment section on social media are younger. like are like probably predominantly like Gen Zers. And it was like, how is it not obvious? But I guess it's not obvious, but they're investigating. At the end of the day, all they need is a reason to get a search warrant to go into these people's homes, anybody's home. All they need is a solid enough reason, some type of evidence that gives them just enough leverage to get a warrant to search someone's home. There's no telling that they're gonna find what they're looking for once they go in a person's homes. I know people personally who were raided and falsely raided even at times. So just because the feds raided doesn't mean that they're gonna find what they're looking for when they go in. And time will tell what they find. We don't even know what they were looking for exactly. We know they took a lot of stuff with them. Now, with it, if they search these devices or whatever, they laptops, whatever, if they find what they were looking for, then we're gonna have a different conversation. And then they might really be putting Diddy in cuffs or something. But as of right now, it's just an investigation. Diddy hasn't been found guilty of anything yet. He's been accused of a lot of things. And we just gotta let it play out how it's gonna play out. This lawsuit, though, that Lil Rod has against Diddy is not looking too good because of the claims that's in the lawsuit. And his lawyer is not the most credible lawyer, apparently. His name is Tyrone Blackburn. The CEO of UMG, Lucien Grange, his lawyer came out with a statement regarding Lil Rod's lawsuit. He's claiming that Lil Rod's claims are offensively false and entirely invented. He added that Lil Rod's lawyer knowingly filed false allegations of criminal wrongdoing without the slightest factual or legal basis. He himself and the UMG, whoever else is named in this lawsuit, they're planning to seek sanctions against Tyrone Blackburn. He said that Lil Rod has amended his lawsuit a few times. He said it drastically altered the allegations. He said, I've never seen any lawyer in any pleading in any court accuse people and companies of criminal conduct without the slightest basis. He calls the motion a PR stunt filed in bad faith. And I've been hearing a lot about this Tyrone Blackburn person. And it's like he's just taking everything that Lil Rod is saying as fact without any type of like real proof, apparently, and just filing the lawsuit on it. And when lawsuits like this come out, the court of public opinion is gonna find people like guilty way before the actual courts. So it's like a lot of damage is being done. And I mean, I always say where there's smoke, there's fire. So, you know, there may be some truth in it somewhere in it, but when you have stuff that's already been proven to not be true, it kind of puts a shadow over your whole entire lawsuit. Someone said they need probable cause, and the feds actually do have a pretty high standard to meet when they do, not quite like a typical police raid. Someone said it's likely the feds already have some evidence against Diddy. The raids is likely the ending of their investigation. It has not been said the raid is related to Lil Rod's case. People aren't necessarily right to connect Diddy's raid to his complaint. There was Cassie and other accusers who would meet the standard I'm sure the feds are looking at. But yeah, amongst all this, Diddy maintains his innocence. His lawyer released a statement following when the raids happened, and he said there was a gross overuse of military level force as search warrants were executed at Mr. Combs' residences. There is no excuse for the excessive show of force and hostility exhibited by authorities or the way his children and employees were treated. Mr. Combs was never detained, but spoke to and cooperated with authorities. Despite media speculation, neither Mr. Combs nor any of his family members have been arrested, nor has their ability to travel been restricted in any way. This unprecedented ambush, paired with an advanced, coordinated media presence, leads to a premature rush of judgment of Mr. Combs and is nothing more than a witch hunt based on meritless accusations made in civil lawsuits. There has been no finding of criminal or civil liability with any of these allegations. Mr. Combs is innocent and will continue to fight every single day to clear his name. And there you have it. My thing, I just want people to not like rush to judgment so quick and let it play out at the end of the day. Like if something comes of these raids, if the feds do have something on Diddy, let's wait until they complete their investigation and put out an official statement on what they find. Wait till you see that man in handcuffs and, you know, facing trial or what have you. And then we can judge in that way. What else I wanted to mention? Oh, I wanted to explore the idea that some people have, like I seen Stevie J, I seen post about it. I seen what's his name? Slim Thug post about this idea that Black people want Diddy to fail, or that Black people are like, I guess, so quick to like grab popcorn. I think someone said grab popcorn and watch the fall of a Black man or whatever. I wanted to explore that and why I should say it don't really make me feel no way when I hear people say that. I think for me personally, it doesn't necessarily mean that this person is like innocent. He may not be innocent, but I will say it does kind of feel like we are the only group of people who like be like taking excitement in cases like this when it happens. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I don't see like when it's like white prominent figures that's going down, I don't really see like white people like, yo, look at this, like da da da, like da da da, like, you know, just like feasting off of it. I take that to be what they are talking about when they say that. I don't think, for me personally, I don't think it means that they feel they're innocent, because we don't know if he's innocent or not. But I do see that happening a lot when cases like this come about. It do feel like this like salaciousness of like, it's just like juicy and like, oh, look at this and what's next. And like, it's one thing to do it like amongst like, you know, your friends or whatever, but when people be online like publicly in these comment sections like going in, it could feel that way. It could feel like we love to see when someone is being like taken down or whatever. It could feel that way. But again, I'm not in like white spaces. I'm not in like the Asian spaces or any other group of people spaces when they have like prominent known figures who may be going down for crimes. I just don't see like the people online as much as we be going in online about it. I don't see it. Someone said, yes, they do. They will do YouTube video after YouTube video on white predators. Look up Quiet on the Set. People talk about what they look at or who they look like. we are fans of Black entertainers. Most of us are not focused on white celebrities like that, but they get attacked too. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't see it, but that's news to me. Like if they are doing it, but yeah, it's definitely not on my radar for sure. But yeah, we'll see how this plays out. At the end of the day, something is going down, and it's a lot. It's a lot. And a lot of people got stories about Diddy. A lot of people are coming out saying with their own like allegations against him, various people with various stories. So it's not looking too good. It's not looking too good. So we don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens between the civil complaints, the civil cases, and if there are any criminal cases that come out in the future. But as of right now, it's just an investigation and a bunch of civil cases and a bunch of allegations. And innocent until proven guilty. We'll see what happens. But yeah, let's move on. Last but not least, what I want to talk about, it kind of is going to intertwine with what blows mine for this week. And it kind of has to do with just misinformation and false narratives that's put out into the world. And then people just like kind of run with it. So today it got to do with today being Easter Sunday. And this story that's going viral on certain blogs that President Biden declares Easter Sunday as Transgender Day of Visibility. And I've seen Tyrese post something about it. I've seen this other blog post something about this. I've seen Caitlyn Jenner post something about this. And of course, the former occupant of the White House wouldn't miss the opportunity to mislead people. And so he posted something about it as well. And what it is Biden put out this like proclamation or whatever for Transgender Day of Visibility. The actual term is International Transgender Day of Visibility. And he put it out there that it's going to be pointing out that it's March 31st or whatever. And it just so happens that it falls on Easter Sunday. A lot of people are saying that Biden is trying to replace Easter Sunday with this Transgender Day of Visibility, which is just simply not true. You have Caitlyn Jenner, who posted, "I am absolutely disgusted that Joe Biden has decided to declare the most holy of holy days, a self-proclaimed devout Catholic, as Transgender Day of Visibility. The only thing you should be declaring on this day is he is risen." Tyrese wrote, "This was a reach, President Joe, and I think we all deserve an apology. Pick up your Bible, Mr. President. This is not an opinion. This is the word." He says something else. I really hate to put this out there, but this is a reach. I swear y'all are taking things too far, blah, blah, blah. And this has nothing to do with anyone's religion, how you feel about the transgender community, whether you're for it, whether you're against it. This has nothing to do with that. I could give two Fs about how anyone feels about it. You're entitled to feel how you feel. If that's your religion or whatever, if you're against it, if you're for it, whatever, I don't care. It don't put food on my table at the end of the day. That's not what this is about. What this is about is the facts and people putting out false narratives on stories and it just taking off and it's being as fact, and that's just not the case. First, let me just say International Transgender Day of Visibility. This apparently is a day that has been occurring ever since 2009. They declared March 31st the day for International Transgender Day of Visibility. Easter is not the same day every year. Easter just so happened this year, 2024, to fall on March 31st. So to put out there that Biden is like trying to make Easter irrelevant and make this transgender day of visibility relevant is just not true at all. Easter next year is not going to be until April 20th. That's just the way it's going to fall in the calendar. The next time Easter is going to fall on March 31st, apparently is like not until like 2086 or some wild thing like that. So it's just a coincidence that it's falling on this day. And if anybody has any sense, any knowledge to know that Easter doesn't fall on the same day every year, would understand that this is just simply not true. It's just a coincidence. And that's what blows mine about it. Cause you got people that's just like jumping to conclusions and making it seem like, oh, they're trying to like make this, that. Is like, nah, that's not the case. And if you could count on anything from me, you could count on me to speak about actual facts of things and not just speculation or whatever people like to put out on the internet and just run with it. That's not what I'm doing over here. And of course, 45, the former occupant of the White House, is going to use that opportunity to take a jab and feed off of the fears or just the devout Christians or Catholics or what have you, and try to make it seem like this is truth. And it's like, bruh, it said that it was appalling and insulting that Joe Biden's White House has formally proclaimed Easter Sunday as Trans Day of Visibility. Sadly, these are just two more examples of the Biden administration's year-long assault on the Christian faith. We call on Joe Biden's failing campaign and the White House to issue an apology to the millions of Catholics and Christians across America who believe tomorrow is for one celebration only, the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And people see that and they just running with it like, what? He's turning Easter Sunday into this day. And it's like, nah, it's just a coincidence that it's falling on the same day. Like, I got to do better. Yeah, I got to do better. But yeah, that blows mine. And also is going to conclude what's hot in these blogs for this week.